Indeed, it is our turn. Of course it is. It was meant to be. 26,000 years is a long time to wait for it. We've earned it. And go ahead, argue with me. I know you can't. And I'm just waiting for Tony to show up on the board here, and that way we can introduce him in. Before we get started with our lovely guest, Swan, just want to announce that, yes, a couple of things, actually. I managed to have a little chat with Santo Bonacci this afternoon. He is currently in Los Angeles Airport, and was able to get online, so I had a chat with him, and there's Tony. And he's doing well, 16 hours of flying. Sorry, clicking it there, Tone. There you go. Yeah, 16 hours long haul, and one of the things too, coming from Australia this direction, you're actually traveling backwards in time, you know. So as the hours tick by, it's still staying at the same time, so it can be a bit of a mind melt. But he's doing good. He did sound a little tired, obviously. That much flying can wear on you very heavily. So you know, don't kid yourself, guys. This journey that he's making, of course, being away from his lovely Hiromi, is, you know, that's sacrifice. That's love, guys. That's love of the highest order. And he's doing well. I'm hoping that at some point tonight, Santo can pop into the call. At which point, all he has to do is ask, and I can pull him in, and he can say hi. And also, we debuted today on Critical Mass main station, our mother station, with Paul, Giovanni, and Lisa, and the rest of the crew, hosts at Critical Mass. So we did our debut show this afternoon, and we'll be doing them, I believe, every Tuesday. I'm not sure if there's more of them wanted or whatever, but, you know, here's me saying I'm going to slow down, and not a chance. But anyway, 3 shows yesterday, 2 shows today, and who knows what tomorrow, but whatever. We can't get this out fast enough, and we can't get it out loud enough. And I do urge, I'm going to be grabbing the link, but I do urge anyone to get over to criticalmassradio.co.uk, and if you can, the archive should be there. I'm not sure if it's up on podcast yet. As soon as I get the link, which I should, well, I can probably grab it later, but needless to say, I would urge people to, of all the recent shows, grab that one. Because sometimes you just say something right, and it all just falls out of your mouth and brain the right way. And this afternoon, it's an hour and 45-minute show. It's one of those moments, so I would urge you to grab that and give that one a listen. It clarified a few things regarding the debt of the bond and how everything is reversed and backwards and in the mirror. And I think I covered it in a way I hadn't done before. It felt better, and it was kind of an epiphany sort of afternoon. So, of course, Geminis work better earlier in the day anyway. You know, we're not Nighthawks. We prefer the morning to noon kind of thing. So, but anyway, Tony, how are you doing?
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Got over a lot of these computer problems that I was having this afternoon. Turns out it was registry key errors and malware, of all things. So yeah, I've had to strip the bones of the computer and get it all out today. But no, we're up and running now, so it's all good.
Awesome news. Yeah, because we're having a lot of technical difficulties with you staying in the call. And again, I find it rather humorous, and the only reason I bring that up as far as getting knocked off is that to me is a beautiful and positive thing, in that obviously we're saying something right. So it's a beautiful indicator. So I'd like to thank those of the dark principalities that think they're doing a disruptive good thing by doing that, or better yet, for you guys, a disruptive good thing to think that you're going to be distracting us. Quite the opposite, actually. So thank you for empowering me even more. Much obliged. It's awesome. So without further ado, I want to bring in the lovely Swan A. Montague, and we're going to talk about her new book and a whole bunch of other things tonight. I just know it. What about you, Swan? How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Today's the 1st of May already where I am, and it's a big day, apparently, so my guides tell me. This is a day when we get to make massive shifts and step up into what we came to do. This is it, guys. It's double green light.
Oh, I like that. Green light, green light, green light. Double that up, and you got 6. We'll add one more just for the God's sake, and there you have 7. Good.
That's right. Yeah. So it's exciting. It's been a long, long road, as you and I were discussing before we went on air. For many of us, and we've been waiting and envisaging this time and hoping and praying and having faith and holding true to what we know is right and what has to be. And it feels like finally its time is here. This is way past the 11th hour. It's midnight, guys. The bell is tolling.
Absolutely. And there's loads more stuff coming to light as well. I came across a document earlier on that basically spelled it out about the deal that was made between God and the human race and the dark principalities, about how they were given information of the utmost, most incredible sorcery in order to basically put the whole planet to sleep and under the spell of which we're just now yawning and stretching, waking up to, about the covenant that was agreed and the universal laws which were decided on, where and under what agreement we would all, as the human race, go into this forgetfulness and trickery of the most heinous kind. But it was agreed and it was a deal and we all volunteered, so how about that?
Yeah, I know. Next time they're doling out the jobs, I'm sitting on my hands and zipping up my lips.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't even get me started on that one. Yeah, who volunteered for this? Right, I did. Okay. Let's just, hey, you know what? I picked some of the coolest clues of all, so I'm very, very happy with the role that I've been able to play thus far, and certainly have much more to do. But we are certainly in that 11th hour, no question. And I'll speak for all these beautiful tuned-in listeners, because I know they're all thinking exactly the same thing. We know it's in the air, we know we're there, and it's just a matter of twinkling. And that's coming up very quickly. So.
And shining.
And shining bright. Absolutely, it is. Well, I tell you, there's a few hills on this planet that will not be yielded, and I know I'm standing on one. Tony's standing on one. Swan is. Santo and so many others are standing on them. So, no. I stand to post. I shall not yield. None shall pass. None being, of course, the Egyptian goddess. I don't know if anyone ever got that when I said that. That's what I was referring to. Neat, eh?
Neat.
What is it with this word trickery and Kate? Unbelievable. Anyway, there you go. We talked a bit about that today as well.
Word magic. Yep.
Oh yeah, I know where the spells are, so starting to cast a few of my own these days. And it's really cool, they work. Take the sigils and mirror them back and watch what happens. It's quite something. But speaking of writing and ritual, and that's what writing is to me, it's a ritual. Let's talk about your book, Swan. Let's get into the nitty-gritty here and really bring it to the fore and let people know where they can get it and the purposes behind it, as far as what is going to be generated with it in a future now sense. And let's get down and dirty.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned before, and you know this, I've worked on this book for over 10 years, and it started when I was actually on my deathbed, and I'd been given 3 months to live, and I had a 2-year-old child with me, and I was living in an old chapel in Cornwall, actually. I'd gone there to retreat and be in seclusion and be with the masters and figure out what the missing piece was for me with God, because I knew this death call was about that, really. It was about going way beyond the New Age and anything that I could see going on in spiritual circles and finding something much greater for myself. So on a night when I nearly really was passing over, Jesus was with me the whole night. And in the morning, when I had got through this death experience, I said, well, what now, Jesus? What happens now? And he said, break the seals. And so I imagined breaking whatever these seals were and started writing. And this book started coming through me, and I had no idea what was coming through me. And it has really only been revealed to me over the period of 10 years. And every so often there has been a revelation in the book which has shocked and scared even me, which is why it's taken so long for me to write it, and why it's taken so long for it to be published and available to the world, because it's a huge energy shift. It's a huge vibrational paradigm that hasn't been grounded on the planet before. It actually comes from another universe in terms of the consciousness and the frequency, and it's about creating a new shift on the planet into the divine feminine that's going to create the spiritual paradigm for the future. And this book is one of the big catalysts. So it's not about me, it's actually about the book. It's about Sahra, the secret wife of Jesus, who, of course, allegorically is the divine feminine within each one of us. And each one of us embracing and embodying that consciousness so that we raise our vibration, our frequency exponentially into a whole new way of living that we can only even imagine, I believe, at this point. Even visionaries like you, me, Tony, on the call tonight, we know that amazing, amazing consciousness and an amazing way of life and being is possible, but actually the physical reality for that still is hard to imagine. You know, it's like you don't know what it's like to give birth until you've done it yourself. So this book is about taking people on a journey where they get to experience living that sacred journey for themselves at a whole new level. And by people reading the book and traveling on this journey with Sahra and with Jesus, they get to activate that Christ consciousness, the feminine of the Christ consciousness, which hasn't been grounded on the planet before, but they get to activate that at a cellular level, at a soul level, cellular and cellular level within themselves, and not only within themselves, but on the earth. So everyone who reads this book, everyone who even holds this book, is already grounding this new frequency that has to be born on the planet. And we've had to go through these dark nights of the soul in order to create enough space inside us for this light now to fill.
Let's keep saying it, because we're only agreeing with you. So, and here's something too, to make it very real for everyone listening. You may not be able to see it. You may not be able to put it to words. You may not fully understand it, but you know what it is. You feel it, and you know something is coming. I can't even call it anticipation, but it's how would you make it? It's like a week before Christmas, if you want to use that analogy. You're the 8-year-old a week before Christmas, still caught in that beautiful fairy tale, and that's effectively what we're in. We're in a fairy tale, and it's one of a magnificent order. It has been very difficult for a lot of us, regardless of this lifetime. You have to stop thinking in the now. You are infinite. The only thing that isn't infinite are the bodies we walk around in. Now, they could be, I suppose, but I'm really, really moving away from all things physical and having any sort of control over me. It's a better place for me. That way, it's time to get the spirit and the mind right, and then we can sort out whatever we need after the fact. We need to sort out the chicken. We'll pay attention to the egg once we get the chicken sorted out. But I got to do a shout out for Otis. I love this. Every night, Otis, I'm there. It wouldn't be a show without you. And of course, Marie comes back with, Otis, you always are. And then of course Otis comes back with, only hearts like ours can see. Absolutely, Otis. And I've got to tell you, there are a few people, and I mentioned Otis a few times, and there are many others that I just go back over the many months, and I got to tell you, my friend, you have no idea what the I'm there really, really means. So I want to flow that back in its most perfect mirror, and your heart will know what I'm talking about. So thank you. Most humbly. See, I care. You know, I got to say this one, and I'll speak for Tony because I know he's going to agree. Same with Santo. We are the most blessed radio hosts on the planet because we have the best listeners. Because not only do they listen, not only are they tuned in, they make the effort with whatever they can do, the baby steps. And that's all we need to do, take the baby steps. You don't have to make it rocket science. Anyway, I just wanted to pass that along. I can't flow enough energy and love back to those that are flowing it to us. And what happens when you get vibrations going back and forth? It starts going exponential and the vibrations rise up. And something else that you said, Swan, that triggered something with me as well. You see, what happens when we get into this dominant frequency that we're speaking of? We are starting to find, more and more of us are starting to find passion, which is the most powerful act of love, an act of compassion. And as a net result of people finding this most powerful, most potent form of love, unconditional, that frequency rises even higher. And of course, nature abhors a vacuum, and when we rise up, we create a vacuum below us. But more importantly, what we're doing is we're raising a heart vibration below us. And guess what happens to those that have been heartless for so very long? Those tin men start finding their hearts, and they start wondering about what it is they're doing. We're witnessing it. We're already seeing it. You know, some that have been in the system for a long time, stepping out saying, no, I cannot do this anymore. And you watch, in the coming days, they will be coming out in droves. So keep your frequencies high. Hold the torch high. Because I know you do, because I can see you all from here. And just remember that, you know, we have our down moments, and we fight that wave, that ebb and flow all the time. But remember, you are the vessel, you are the ship, the mind. Always ride above the waves. And realize that the waves are all just illusion anyway. Things that were placed in front of you to distract you, to make you feel down, to make you feel hurt, to make you feel hateful, spiteful, fearful. Don't buy the illusions anymore. That's all they are. Do what the Hawaiians do. Laugh. Laugh in the face of evil 3 times and you won't get the second one out before it's gone. So let's start laughing at this and not turning it into anything other than a big joke, because that's all it is anymore. It's a big joke. Rant over.
It is. I agree with you completely. And we have to feel, you know, we have to experience our humanity, because I think that's the part of the purpose of our spirituality, is knowing ourselves as humans having a spiritual experience. So we do have to exist in this reality, and it's real as far as we are existing in it. And there's something about crying too, and I've said this before, when we really open our hearts, and we can cry with joy as well as pain, and as well as fear, and as well as love. But crying opens the heart. It connects us in that wave of compassion that you were talking about. That is so beautiful. That is really, I think, the most profound essence of our humanity.
Yes, and isn't it amazing that all through lives, and I'll speak for the boys out there. Boys don't cry. You see, they don't want you feeling you're feminine at all. All emotions are feminine. That's what feminine is. It's everything analytical and mental is the male intent, and everything emotional and creative is the female. And of course they want to separate you from the most important core of yourself, right? Creation itself. You know, and this has got nothing to do with sex. When I speak of male, female, I think those that have listened to me for any length of time know exactly what it is I speak of. I speak of the electromagnetic getting you into balance. And all I am is just one crazy walking clue. That's it. Just throwing things into balance, and I know who I am, and it's all good. It's all good. You're right about the crying too. There's actually any negative, forget what they call them, but anyway, there's actually negative particles that come out in the tears. at any point, right? So what you're doing, anytime, even if you are crying with joy, you're removing any negative components. So, you know what? Boys do cry. And I have to tell you, from my particular position and viewpoint, growing up in a hidden terror of oneself, knowing who one is, and when they said boys don't cry, girls like me fight twice as hard to make sure we don't. So it takes a long time for us to learn that again. And I've had plenty of opportunity in the last couple of years to experience that. So I'm very grateful for that.
And there's nothing more profound, actually. Not a man who is wallowing in self-pity and some kind of pathetic misery, but when a man is really connected and opening his heart to truth, whatever that looks like in the moment, and tears are flowing with that, there is nothing more beautiful and romantic and inspiring. You know, women, we love it, Guy.
Yeah, you've no idea. I just love being able to finally, for the first time, you know, this last year and a half has been beyond magical, very terrifying, but magical. And finally being able to, instead of just using my songs as my outlet, I can actually use my songs and me and everything about me as that outlet. So I know exactly what you speak of, and it's beyond astonishing. It really is.
It is. It is. There's one of my favorite movies is with Johnny Depp, of course, we all love, in The Man Who Cried, and there's a moment towards the end of the movie when he's just alone sitting on this bed in Germany at the beginning of the Nazi occupation and crying in a way that is so deep and profound that it is absolutely heart-opening in the most extraordinary way. You can only be totally, fully present with him in that emotion. It's amazing. It's an amazing moment. Everyone has to see that movie. May I read a poem that really illustrates what we're talking about?
Swan, this is your show. You do what you want. We're just pushing buttons here.
It's called Dark Night. Dark night of the soul. Hello, whole. Cannot control where or when. You just have to go there again and again. When the divine shines its light, it may be day or night. Control it you cannot do, but you'll surely know when it happens to you. When that bell tolls, be aware, all souls. Look for the gold with eyes blindfold. Only one way out, through the fear, through the doubt. Gaping chasms, monsters, and miasms. Then you find the light vine behind shadows shines. 'Twas always thine. For how long were you lost, wandering in the forest, or on stormy seas, facing what quest? Did you fall, little angel? Did you choose earth's schools? Did you not know your cup was full, or was to know yourself a greater pull? Where to go from here? Back through the fear. When your heart floods with tears, love is near.
Beautiful. Very, very deep stuff. Is that in the book?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Goes a long way, doesn't it? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Where did that come from?
Yes, I can. In fact, I've pulled up the book and some sections of it. It's actually really when the knowledge is clear to Jesus and Sarah that there is going to be this separation, that they're going to lose each other, and that he is going to be leaving the earth, at least for a time. We don't really know, even actually at the end of this book, because this is only book one, we don't really know if he's going to be walking the earth again in a physical way or not. But it's really about them the realization of separation and the journey that we walk, that we meet divine love, that we connect in a divine way, and then we go into the separation again, because of course when the light comes in, then the shadow comes up and out. So the journey of Jesus and Sahra is this constant walking in duality of divine love, the knowledge of eternal love, and their connection through time, past time even to them, so their destiny that has resulted from previous lives and previous journeys, and where it will go in the future for the next 2,000 years until this point where the truth is revealed on the planet. So it's about the light coming into her life with him, and the divine masculine and feminine coming into union within her, but also the revelation of all the separation, not just her separation, but the separation on the planet. So this is the moment when she has this epiphany, it's like the one that Kate was talking about, when suddenly you see it all and you know it all. And you know the truth of it, you know the love of it, and you know the fear of it and the darkness of it, and it's all coexisting there together. And there's nothing to do but dissolve into that enormity that the Native Americans call the Great Mystery, and feel the pain of it. And it is pain. It has to be pain by definition, because our hearts have, by definition, had to be close to this level of divine consciousness. We haven't been able to open this much on the planet until now. At least very few beings have. This is the first time in 26,000 years when we really have this opportunity to fully open our hearts to that divine union within. So this is what she's feeling when she's in this dark night of aloneness, that she has found the greatest love of all, and that she's going to have to let go of it, and she's going to lose it as well. At one level, on the human level, of course. We lose it on the human level so that we can embody it on the higher level.
Yeah, it's experiencing duality, basically, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, and, well, it's more than duality. It's experiencing the Trinity, because the third part, the Holy Spirit, is the crucial part, of course, because that's the witness. And that's the one that keeps the balance and holds us from swaying into one extreme of the polarity or the other, into polarizing completely. So it's about the Trinity very much.
Full circle. But yeah, some beautiful words there, and very, very deep stuff.
Yes, it's a deep journey, and there's a letter in the beginning of the book from Sahra, or me, whoever you like to think about it. I actually went with a pen name because I didn't want people to make it about me. It's not about people debating, is it true or is it untrue? It's about ultimately activating people to seek and to feel a deeper truth within themselves. So there's a letter from Sahra in which she says, this is not just a book that you read, that you flick through and drop in the bath. This is a book that is a journey. It's an experience. It's a divine download. So taste it. Take the book a little at a time, because actually there's very little in it that is gratuitous or superfluous. I have revised it over and over. There's been very little text to actually take out, because it's come through over 10 years, in bursts of such intensity that I know it hasn't been me writing it. I didn't choose to write this book. This book chose to be written through me. And what has come through is unarguable. It's a message, and I'm a messenger, and the messages in here are in every line, on every page. When I read it, I go, who wrote this? This is amazing.
No, I'm gonna relate right to you on that, because as a songwriter, I have written some pretty incredible songs not knowing where they came from. Just songs that, and I know what you mean when you go into it. It's almost automatic writing, and there's no thought. There is no thought involved. It is just right, literally. And people kind of go, "How did you do that in like 5 minutes?" Well, because that's what a song is. A true song is 5 to 10 minutes. It just pours out of your face, and it pours out of the guitar or keyboard, whatever I'm playing on, and it's just the melody hits, and there it is. It's done. And I'm sure you've had a few chapters like that. And I never. So that's why people ask me about giving your songs away. Well, where do you think I got them? I can't claim it as mine. I am just a conduit for it, and this is just my position on it. And with me, songs, I was talking to Paul from Critical Mass earlier today. I said, with me and a song, it's like I can play any one of my songs for any one of the 7 billion on this planet, and I guarantee you that each and every one of them gets a different visual from it and a different understanding. So how can I ever claim it to be mine? Of course it's your song. I wrote it for you, came from you. I'm just giving it back. The gift was given, so I return it. That's how gifts work. It's no obligation, no consideration. I don't offer debts to anyone. So there you go. So go ahead.
Your songs are beautiful. I've been listening to a few of your songs, and they are beautiful. And what you're doing, what I'm doing, and many others are doing, is the birthing of this sacred world renaissance, which is what I call my mission. My mission is really about the sacred world renaissance, the world coming back to a sacred way of living, which is based on the divine feminine. And this is our creativity, and you and I are doing what many are doing, and many are doing as they wake up, as people listen to your songs, as they read this book, they wake up to that creative feminine vessel within themselves that's been asleep for so long, and that starts pouring forth the most amazing divine creations. And this is what we need to heal on the planet. This is the healing of the planet. It's the healing of people, and it's how people heal themselves, by connecting to the beauty within and creating the outlet for it, letting it pour forth, being the vessel for it.
Well, I think tonight is going to work very well as a tribute to artists, and I'm speaking to each and every one of you, because you are all divine artists in one way or another. And I don't do this often enough, but I'm going to be doing a very loud shout out to Zach from verdictproductions.com, who gifts us every single day with a masterpiece. Not only do we do the shows every single day, and sometimes multiples, but what Zach does is he grabs these and he turns them into YouTube videos of a quality that will melt your mind. He put together I think it was 4.5 minutes or so. I posted yesterday, put together like a promo or an intro for Syncrenicity. And I have to say, I love observing the artistry of others when they're working in their element. And Zach, I'm telling you, my friend, every video, and it doesn't matter what you do, every video you have put together, you have moved me in such a way. That's when I know that the art is flowing through. And that's just one example. So I love it when I see people that have found what it is they need to do, what their gift is, and what they have fun doing, And you can always tell when someone is having fun, because the gifts that they pour out are beyond exceptional. There was a beautiful video I got, and it moved me to tears. I cannot watch it because every time I watch it, I move to tears because of the intensity of this video of, I think it was Ukraine Has Talent, or it was sort of like that, Britain's Got Talent sort of, and had a young couple, and you knew they were a couple, not only just by holding their hands, it's just the way these two moved with each other. It defies words. And I'm going to repost it again for those that haven't seen it. I posted it on Facebook, and if you didn't take the time to watch it, I urge you, watch this, and you are going to see liquid love of the most unconditional kind in pure, unadulterated motion. where these two beings intermingle with each other in such a glorious way. And if you want to know what love looks like, there's a couple of dancers that'll show you. And it's one of the quotes, I believe, was you could see the divine masculine in the guy, and the absolute faith that the divine feminine, the girl, put in him, and some of the things that they did in this routine, and you could just see it flowing between them, and that, see, I see that, and that's how I see the work that Zach does, and the work that so many people do, that they pour their life essence into it, and what comes out the other end? You said the word already: renaissance, rebirth, and it's quite it's beyond incredible to watch. Did I lose somebody here? Did I lose anybody?
No.
Oh, there you are.
No, we're here.
I just heard a couple of beeps there, so I wasn't sure if I'm talking to myself or not. Anyway, sorry. So, comments?
Yeah, I just didn't know which clip you were referring to. You're talking about this clip, and I've never heard of it or seen it, so I've missed it.
Okay. Well, it's on my page somewhere, and I downloaded it just because at any point when I just need that little bit of uplift, all I have to do is click that on, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what love looks like. I almost forgot, so. But I'll put it back up and on my page, and make sure that everyone, if you can, please take a look at it. It's astonishing, and to see the energy of the crowd and what was happening in the crowd. They did some camera shots, and you could see the shyness between a guy and a girl, and people getting moved to tears with it, and it's just mind-boggling. And the two of them are just beautiful on stage. They're so innocent. It is this glorious innocence, and they just connected on such an incredible level, and they drew everybody in, and everybody wanted to, for the 2 minutes that they were dancing, or 2.5 minutes, everybody that was watching wanted to be them. That's how.
Are you talking about that Ukraine talent video that I sent you?
Yes, that's the one.
That was so mind-blowing. I mean, talk about mind over matter and divine vessels. What they did with their bodies and connection was just divinely inspiring and amazing, and really astonishing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I have a hard time putting it into words. And just a couple of things that they did, and you hear the gasps of the audience, but you look at these two on stage, and wasn't a care in the world, because they knew that each other had each other, and nobody was going to let the other fall ever. So, and you know what I will do tonight too, because it's been coming up a lot more in the universe, but at some point very shortly I'm going to toss on my signature song. And I remember when I wrote it, and I knew when I finished it that this would be the song to define me for the rest of my life, that there would be nothing ever that would top this song for me as defining me. So I played it before for you guys. It's called Field of Broken Dreams. And what I want you to do when I do play this, I looked at the lyrics again, and as I had to type them back out because I wanted to post them for someone. And as I'm typing it out, I'm looking at it going, oh my. And I wrote that song back in 1994. So the song's almost 20 years old. And it means as much to me today as it did when I originally sat down to write it as a poem. I said to myself, no, I'm not going to write a song. I just love writing poetry. And as it turns out, everything I write turns into a song anyway. I'm not allowed to have a poem, I guess, but songs are just poetry in motion anyway. But that's what it meant to be, and I think about a half an hour after I put it to paper, and again, it was one of those that just fell out of my face, and I was living in an apartment at the time, and I walked away for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I picked up my guitar, and literally what you hear in the song is what I played without even thinking about it. And it just, and then, because I already had the lyrics and the meter in my head, so Universe delivered melody. and that's the song. So I don't know if you know the song I'm talking about. Would you like me? Would you like me?
Are you going to play it now?
I'm thinking I probably should now that I've talked about it.
I think you have to. You have to.
I think so. All right, we'll do that then. Yeah, Field of Broken Dreams. Yours truly. You want to know anything about me? All you got to do is listen to this song, and well, all the rest have a lot of me. Well, of course, all of me in them, but this one really, this one means. I wouldn't say it means the most. It's the most clear-cut define of how I see this world and what we need to do. And of course, I had to use the word sky and boundaries. Bonds. Sky will have no boundaries. Sky, blue sky bonds. And anyway, it's all prophecy. It's all perfect. It's beautiful. Yellow Brick Road, boys and girls. So, guys, this one's for you. I wrote this for you, after all. So pay attention. This is you singing and talking.
I've never seen before my eyes this dream. I've never known what makes this child to see. Like tears from a mountain pouring gently to the sea, a curiosity. Will you dare to touch my soul? Is love so frail that we can't hope to be more than we are, more than our hearts can see? And if for any reason on this field of broken dreams we stand to lose it all, then for you, yes, I do it willingly. If this is our moment, captured in time, always to sustain, for lost in your eyes I find are the only means to remain. Searching relentlessly, just like a cloud, she chases her rain. We'll stand here firm, 'cause we are an island protected by love on this field of broken dreams. It's never clear, this path of destiny. That's why we're here, to find our need to be. Elusive as a rainbow, we can try to steal her gold, but she'll give it willingly. Will you dare to ask her though? We'll find a way, we must believe in us. There'll come a day, we'll soar, and when it does, the sky will have no boundaries. I will challenge every sea, I will never lose this dream. 'Cause for you, yes, I do it willingly. If this is our moment, captured in time, always to sustain, for lost in your eyes I find are the only means to remain. Searching relentlessly, just like a cloud, she chases her rain. We'll stand here firm, 'cause we are an island protected by love on this field of broken dreams. On this field of broken dreams.
Well, there you go. Don't mind the block player screwing it all up. It sounds like someone's slowing and speeding up the record player, but there you go. You know what I think I might do? You ready for this?
Yeah.
I think tomorrow night, what I might do, not tonight. I won't do it tonight because I got to file my nails down. But I think tomorrow night I'll do a couple of songs live for you guys, just so you know. It's really me, and I've got a couple of songs you haven't heard that aren't on the downloads that I would really love to share with you guys. Yeah, I'll work through them, and well, the one is no problem. There's another one that I'd like to do, and I'll work through it tomorrow. I've been away from it for a while, but I've started getting back to it, and I have to say thank you to all those that urged in one way or another for me to pick it up again, because I have to tell you, picking up guitar for me is a very, very hard memory. Knowing what it was, knowing what it is, and what it brings back. So for me playing, it's actually me reconfronting a lot of things that could have been, should have been, would have been, but I chose you instead. So thank you for choosing me to pick it back up again. See how important you are? I can't stress it enough. I can't.
Oh, that was very beautiful. Very beautiful. Really moved to tears here.
No, my gifts wait. They're there. They're not going anywhere. But I think tomorrow night I'll do my first live performance on air, and well over a year. I've done lots of live radio shows and stuff, interviews and what for people, but it's been a very long time. So I'll throw the guitar on tomorrow night and see what I can come up with for you. There you go. That should draw a couple of people, hopefully.
This is what we need. This is what touches the souls and plays the strings of our hearts. We need this. I needed to hear that. Thank you. I have a poem from the book that dovetails beautifully with that.
Go. Like I said.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's called. It's a very long poem actually. It's about 6 pages, so I'm just going to read a section of it. But it's from the poem called Bride of Christ. What to do when love shines its infinite light on you? Of love's infinite cup I imbued when into my dreams you flew. Hope comes and goes with the highs and the lows. Do I choose enlightenment and let go of excitement? This love doth heal my heart's rent. Were you not heaven sent? When the beat of my heart slows, I hear Pan's flute softly blow. Tell me, amour, when I again knock on your door, will you hide from me your call? Will you turn your back on all promise of love's law? If we are forever apart, how will I close the door to my heart? A whole meadow of flowering pink yarrow could not heal this wound of Cupid's arrow. Stranded on a reef, coral the color of unspoken grief. Night, the full moon shineth, of peace it is my thief. Memories of you flow with each star glow. Beyond space and time, will destiny again make you mine? When passion shines its blinding light on you, to all reason we say adieu. What to do with this love for you? So fare thee well, my friend, till we meet again, be it this life before the end, the next, or when we ascend. In the field of dreams, or some far-flung shore, will you float in with the sunbeams, or knock on my door? For what can I do when I see you in you, but heart be true and drink from your dew? What to do when passion burns inside of you, searing your heart with amber hue? Love light without which we cannot do. Can I learn to live without you? Will we dance forever to this endless love song? What restless dreams will I find you among? Or to this moment only does it belong? Does each moment apart have to take so long? How will I find you How will I find you again at the end of this life, questing through eons, searching and strife? Will fulfilled love again make me its wife? Is this divine love to be bride of Christ?
Wow.
Works for me. I just wanted to let that hang. Just let that moment hang. Hey, Carol. Welcome.
Welcome indeed. All I can say is wow, wow, wow. I am being drawn to tears, and I do not cry very easily. And I just have to tell you, your singing and your music and your compositions touch me so deeply, dear Kate. When this money and prosperity comes in, and I understand how you feel about money, but I will make sure that you have all the money that you need to produce your DVDs and get them out to the people. And I want a signed copy, please.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that UCC 3-419 hypothecation accommodating fee is all taken care of and it's all boxed. Fair? I'm kidding. Okay. Just had to go
I'll
there.
tell you what. I hope tomorrow night when you do your music, sweet Kate, that you'll do it before I have to leave the call. If you could do it in the first hour, I would be so grateful.
Oh, I'll be out of the gate with a couple of tunes. You don't worry about that, love.
Thank you so much. And Swan, your beautiful poem. I'll tell you what, you guys were meant to bring those to us tonight. The mention of the Field of Dreams in both the song and the poem. That couldn't be a better marriage in wherever. You know, it was a marriage made in heaven, and that would be where we are now. Thank you, both of you, so much for touching my heart.
The pleasure is mine, and it's shared with everybody.
Thank you very much.
And the pleasure is the divine. That is the divine. That is the divine in you, Carol. This is what it's about. This is how we're birthing it. I feel you.
And you know, I'm going to share this with you guys because it was such a poignant story for me. This one really struck home because I remember when I first decided to change my Skype name. It used to just be, Kate Renee, whatever. And I changed it one day. It's about a year ago, I guess. I changed it to Ugly Duckling. The Ugly Duckling. Some of you might remember that. And I had a lot of people come back to me and says, "Why are you saying that? Oh my God, this, that, and the other." And I says, "Have you never seen the story? Have you never read it? Have you never fully understood the ramifications and the truth contained within that so very short tale that tells all the truth you would ever want to hear?" And by the way, the swan is the divine feminine. It's not a fluke that Swan is here along with a compatriot called Cygnus, the swan. Right? It's my Skype handle. So I went from Ugly Duckling, and I had some growing to do, and this is how I gauged it. It was for me. I was watching my mirror very closely, and I was watching my mirror as it reflected with those around me. And it got to the point where the Ugly Duckling was ready to be seen for what it was, who it was, and why it was. And I changed it to Cygnus Rising, which means the swan was beginning to be birthed, to be born. And by the way, Cygnus is the swan constellation. That's where I am turning. That's where I am steering. I'm steering away from Orion's den of inequity, and I'm steering back home towards Cygnus. That's where we're supposed to be aiming. And then I went from Cygnus Rising. It took a little while until that ugly duckling started to see the white feathers and the rising of the swan. And then upon realizing a lot of very profound answers within myself, I thought, okay, now this swan can trumpet. And it also brought in the seventh seal, the trumpets in the heavens. Of course, Santa will tell you, the heavens will testify for you. I just chose to listen, and he clarified it much more as time went on. And then I went from Cygnus trumpets to what it is right now. Cygnus trumps it. So the Divine Feminine will trumpet. And since we're in this mode tonight, let's have a little right, shall we, Swan? I've got an ebook coming out as well, and I want to read. It's called Prometheus Bled, and I want to read one of the parts from it. It's actually the only poem. It's a collection of essays, and this is the only poem. And I wrote this last August, and many of you that are listening right now, you've had your very, very low moments. You've had some high moments too, and you've had your very low ones. And especially those listening that have walked this so very difficult, narrow path to stay on. And you have been taken down many times, and you've had many reasons to doubt yourself, and you've had many reasons to go, am I crazy? What is it? What am I doing wrong? Everybody thinks I'm nuts because I see things that they can't see, and they're caught in their own illusions. And you're not so crazy after all. And I'll tell you, as soon as I can get this open, I'll read it to you. I should, that's a problem though. I always like to stay in the now, so I only react in now moments, right? So this is. Oh, I already just by accident. Go figure. I highlighted it. There we go. So as soon as I get this open, it shouldn't take long. What I'm going to read to you is something that came at one of the lowest lows I have ever experienced, on top of many other lows. This was, like I said, last August, and this was the low point. This is where Cygnus was rising, and this is where I wrote this, and very shortly thereafter, I gained confidence to fly, and that flight became the trumpeter swan. So what I'm going to read to you right now, I need you to hear this. It is you. These are your words. I catch them, that's all. They come in and I catch them. And this is the kind of writing I love to do. This is the kind of writing you can't do well, you can in a song. I remember once a friend of mine came up to me and he said to me, he says, the name, that name that shall never be spoken. He says, you write the most beautiful, amazing songs, but you know what's wrong with them? I looked at him and said, what? It says, you are singing right over their heads. They are not getting a tenth of the message that you are giving. And he was right. He was so very, very right. But now I know that I can write whatever I want, and I always have anyway. But this one I'm going to share with you right now. Prometheus. You thought first, then you acted. And you've left behind all the other Epimetheus kin, the ones that act first and think later, the ones that have regrets. We don't have regrets. What we have are solutions. What we have are changes of direction. What we have are trailblazers, you. And I don't care how big a step you've taken, if you only moved an inch in the direction of truth, you're one of us. That's how it works. And I don't care if you were racing ahead on a Harley Davidson motorbike. Doesn't matter to me, because everyone has a critical role to play. This puzzle will not be complete without you. So, dear puzzle pieces, this one's for you. It's called Prometheus Bled. I might have read this before for you guys, but I think tonight of all nights is going to be a bit more poignant, and I really need you to hear this. This is you and what you've been through. So put it in your mind as I speak this. These are your thoughts. And at the end of it, I want you to try to convince me that I'm wrong. I know I'm not. Here it is. Prometheus Bled. Turned it into a song. This is the one I want to actually play tomorrow night if I can. It's actually a very powerful song. I don't know how the neighbors will feel about me just belting this puppy out, but here it is. Prometheus Bled. Last night I died 1,000 deaths, each by 1,000 cuts. And though I want to leave this path, continue on I must. How much more can my soul endure this walk that steals my breath? All around me take away this slow Promethean death. This place of hearts so quickly drains, reserves the gilded cage. Entombed within this solace fair cries out with neutral rage. That once I'm fallen on broken knees do the carrion gather high, with crows that cackle in the fray, silence I will cry. Forgive them gently with mother's love, dig deep yet deeper still, where those that fed from this weary child do feed upon my will. Where I stood, in truths profound, the blind eyes made to see, as mortal flesh rots on their limbs, these walking dead and me. Cannot see beyond this veil, beyond their surly bounds. These fools that conflict searches out still chains them to the ground. I'm free, they yell from towers high, but know themselves not yet. They only see the flesh they're not, while caught in illusion's net. So toil I must, and stand I will, to bleed another day, where somehow through this misty plain I can help them find their way. To Middle Earth, where ebb meets flow, the balance of the tides, to climb Olympus' craggy base, where Prometheus resides. Since for his gift of fire's truth, the ascensions of the mind, wrought from his flesh his liver torn, where morrow's day does find. His quest ordeal renews again, sacrificial daily bread, is where I share these self-same truths, in the way Prometheus bled. For you.
That's the second or third time I've heard that. Well, I've read it and then heard you voice it, and it's so profound. It really is. It needs to be read and heard many times.
Well, that's, I know that you guys have been there. You will not yield. You will not yield. That's the trouble with the truth, right? Once you find it out, you can't give it back. All you can do is deny it. And if you deny it, you deny it at your own peril. And that was the choice I made, the absolute choice 3 years ago, that I must stand in truth. That regardless of how fearful it might be, how intensely crazy it might seem, I made a choice. As soon as I unveiled something, I would immediately stand to post in it, come what may. And here we are tonight, having a chat.
We're creating. I just have to say this. It just came through so strongly. That moment when you're champing at the bit. We're creating the new mythology.
Absolutely we are. And the word myth is my theos, my God, you. How about the study of you? Let's study mythology for real for a change. Let's have a look in our mirrors and go, oh my God, I am stunning. Seriously.
Certainly.
Hey, listen, I've looked in my mirror for a lifetime, absolutely, right? But it's looking better and better every day. It's amazing what this mind over matter does.
Yeah, seriously. Thank God for it when we get it. Mm-hmm. I have to read a section from the book. I'm getting it really strongly. So
why do you think I read that? Let's go. This is a parade of Renaissance. Go.
Yeah, guys. This is one of my chapters from the book, and it's called "My Hair Touches His Feet," and it's the chapter of the famous story which purportedly is Mary Magdalene, but actually was not Mary Magdalene. It was Sarah Magdalene, her twin sister, whose existence no one knew of. So this is one of the few times when Sarah gets to go out in public, although no one knows it's her. They think it's Mary, but it is actually Sarah. So she has escaped from her palace prison, and to know more about that, you're going to have to read the book. She escapes from her palace prison and gets to see Jesus out in the desert, Yeshua as he's called in Aramaic, and in front of all the disciples. Let me just clear my throat. I took the bottle of oil carefully and knelt. Oh, someone's pinging me. Hang on, let me make myself invisible, otherwise this will be disastrous.
That's what sorry, that was my faux pas. I always mention put yourself to do not disturb or invisible, and yeah. Anyway, start again, my love.
I took out the bottle of oil carefully and knelt reverently at his feet. The room was silent, full of portent, and I was only vaguely aware of the others present. There was a long moment of utmost sanctity, a great sense of anticipation. I too remained silent, for in a moment, in front of all, I knew I was going to kiss his feet, and he would be refilled with love that none around him could meet. Then all of a sudden, I was overcome with feeling, tears down my face streaming, as I felt the enormity of our undertaking and the grief for the separation we must endure, with emotions shaking. I cared not at all, though I knew many terrible things later I would be called. I had come with the truth, full divine love, my loved one to reach, and a lesson of love I would teach. I wept with my love and drenched his feet, as with tears from my heart, volumes of words did I silently speak. From the room I felt hate arise, and jealousy I could sense in everyone's eyes. The ire that I, a woman, could meet his fire, the look in his eyes mirroring his heart's desire. I wanted them to see that he was also just a man who loved above all a woman, me, not above worldly love, a man and a woman in a world of divine love. I wept wildly and held his feet. All the while, I could hear both our hearts beat. In that moment, all the disciples knew what a world of true love could do. They knew in themselves they knew not a love so true, and from now on, my name they would rue. My twin Mary's name in truth, for mine they actually never knew. When finally my weeping did subside, I used my simple linen priestess robe to wipe his feet dry, and I called for an urn of water and a bowl to honor him with the ritual priestesses used to purify. One of the women followers complied, and I washed his feet with my robe, and with more of its folds I wiped them dry. I kissed them with love I would not hide, and soothed them with feathered strokes from my hair, the color of autumn leaves dyed. To them, a priestess should her sensuality hide. To him, all I really cared about, true love could not lie. I wafted my hair back and forth, soothing and cleansing his energy, drawing out the overwhelming feelings and density of those around him, bringing him back to his own synergy, revitalizing his light. There were some protests. I was aware of them in my periphery, but I was focused only and absolutely on him, and the love that between us was freely given. When giving with my hair and my lips I was done, I opened my oil to anoint the anointed one. I poured the oil, the colors of burnished hues from the crystalline Egyptian bottle, white and blue. In a stream onto the middle of his foot, I watched it run in rivulets through the nooks and crannies of the bones of the feet I knew so well, before rubbing the oil well into his flesh, visualizing it seeping deep into the soul, the muscle and the bones of the Divine Son and the Holy One. Then I turned my attention to his hands. For a moment I held them, until once again I was swept away with a wave of grief, and once again tears poured openly for moments, but brief. I saw a vision with my inner sight, and knew now with sinking heart what I had come to prepare him for, what to his hands and feet his whole body would befall. his final teaching of the immortal soul. What would, in that event, to every one of us befall? That day, in the tented room, we had all seen what we most did not want to see, could not bear to know about ourselves, or to each other show. The disciples had seen the naked love of the goddess unmasked in the performance of what they considered a lowly task. I had seen in their jealous eyes how they would in their unconscious patriarchal ways continue to fraternize. My love, my beloved, had seen the depths of love in the heart that he would have to break to depart, that I would be bereft and inconsolably aggrieved. And I had seen that the time would come soon when this earth plane he would leave.
And there you have a moment. Oh boy, I don't know. It's all good here. Never mind. I don't think anyone I know I didn't have any idea what tonight was going to be like. Isn't it wonderful?
This is the ultimate spiritual high, my dears, both of you. And both of you, I think, have found your purposes for being here. At least in my eyes, you have. Can't thank you enough.
Oh, it's a pleasure, love. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Take the pieces that you've been holding and place them softly by the door. And just remember that you were trusted to keep them safely, not anymore. 'Cause I'm leaving only memories, and in time they too will fade. I've moved along this New York minute. I'm on my way. No need to worry, it's done and over. Don't cry for me, it's all in vain. Somehow you missed me, and all the good things. You turned my sunshine into rain. You left me lonely years before this. You left me empty with nothing to say. I've moved along this New York minute. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm chasing rainbows. On my way to love again. Without regrets, I'll feel no sorrow. For today is a brighter day. I'll gather up what's left of my pieces. I'll be on my way. Things we love are once a lifetime. Things we lose are at once too late. and I will smile and just say thank you. I'm on my way. There you go.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Well, I couldn't resist, you know. I mean, love's just flowing nicely, so how would I be so selfish to not share that?
Kate, would you consider a request from this old lady out in California?
I would always consider a request from this beautiful mirror of mine. Absolutely.
I love you so much. Would you consider dedicating one day a week to your music and poems from Swan and anybody else that comes along that has this beautiful spiritual nature? It is so rejuvenating for me. It is so beautiful.
Well, you know, this is the kumbaya moments that I've always loved and lived for. So, yeah.
Just please don't do it on Wednesday or Thursday nights when I can't be with you.
No, that's kind of what motivated me to go inside and grab my guitar while...
Was that live?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, sweetheart, you're beautiful.
Yeah, that's live off the floor, guys. That one isn't recorded yet.
Oh, wow. Thank you for pouring out your soul to us. That's
no worries. Hey, well, I guess it's recorded now, so you'll want the archive, won't you?
I hope I can get on the archives one of these days. But anyway, thank you so much. I sit here with tears in my eyes and a frog in my throat, and I don't do that very often, my dear.
Oh, it's all good, my love. It's all good.
I was going to say we need to do this every week because people need this, and they need to be reminded of what it's about and be given this divine soul to connect with.
Swan, thank you so much for sharing your soul with us tonight, too. That's so beautiful. The two of you make a very high spiritual combination, and I love it. I need you.
So do I need us and you.
Right back in the mirror. What is that Kate thing with mirror, mirror all the time? Just because I'm right, that's all.
Gemini. Because you're Gemini, you've constantly got to be doing that.
It's that mutable flightiness, you know, that twin Mercury outboard just going mental. That's Tony. He's tolerated me for a long time, longer than you guys, so give him some credit. Boy needs a big pat in the back for dealing with this.
How are you, Tony? How are you enjoying it?
I'm doing fine. I'm sort of like just letting you girls get on with it because you know, it's what I do. I'll step in for the other bits, so it's all cool.
See, Tony is the consummate gentleman. He will ask for a dance when he feels the time is right. That's that bloody Taurian in you. You know that, eh?
That's right. Well, I'll just sit here and observe because it's all going so well.
Well, you know, it's funny, and you're so what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, you're so polite. Well, you see, this is one of the things, right? When you put you know, Santo, myself, and Tony together, you've got the first three zodiacs: Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, right? And of course, you've got Arian, you know, just that fire and whatnot. What is it? Fix? I think you're cardinal fire. That's right. So you got the cardinal fire, and of course you've got the, you know, the fixed earth with Tony, and then you've got the airhead, the mutable air with me. So that's one of the things that Tony brings to the table, whether he realizes it or not. He brings a certain stability, and and I've tried shoving him off that stability a few times, and he'll verify that any day of the week.
Absolutely.
You know, but you know, there's that stubborn bully saying, you know, screw you, tranny dyke, I'm standing firm. And it's all good. It's all good, and it works. It just does. It just works, and yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling the listeners are probably enjoying this tonight as well. And I hate calling you listeners. The rest of the family is probably enjoying this as well. So I would trust that you are. And I'm just going to check the board here for anyone that has their hand up and wants to come to class. see any hands up. So, all right. What do we got? Okay. Yeah, I saw you put your hand up, Carol. I was actually going to open your mic before you did that, and then you did the magic touch one. Go, right?
I'm gonna take another opportunity to be selfish right here, and I won't keep you long, but I just had a flood come over me. I'd like you to write this down as a possible title of your DVD or series of DVDs, and I hope that you will take Swan's poems and intersperse them in printing to go along with the package that the DVDs come into, because what a correlation the two of you make. But here's an idea. You don't have to use it. It's just a thought. And there are angels among you. And that might be a title for something, but I love what you guys are doing tonight. Thank you so much.
A pleasure, love. Absolute pleasure. Yeah, brain farting here as far as songs go. It's because I've been so long away from it. I managed to find my songbooks in the trunk of the car, and of course, being away for 2 months, a lot of them got water damage. So, thankfully, they're recoverable. I just got to find the files. There's a lot of songs there, so it's not very easy for me to just go, well, can't you remember it? I don't know. Well, let me see. I'll pick one of the 5,000 and try to remember it. And that's the thing, too. I've written many, many songs, and the vast majority of them had their life, and I moved on from them. And, some of them were, I look back, and I've got some songs that have hung around since I picked up the guitar. Third song I ever wrote was called Fading, and it's still a song I play. Anytime I'm live anywhere, I pull that little rabbit out, because what it allows me to do is to my first passion, my first love was always musical theater, and I've got a voice for musical theater. That's the kind of voice I have, and when I let rip with it, it's where I get a chance to actually show that. So I certainly won't be doing it over the radio. It'll melt down the Blog Talk lines, but I do plan on getting out and about and meeting and hooking up with people, and I'll have a guitar with me. There's no question. I might even throw the keyboard in the trunk, but I don't generally play that too much, especially live. That's kind of, I write songs with it, and I will play it on occasion, but I keep that one more for me. It's just it's a beautiful zone. I'm lucky. I was given some pretty cool gifts, and that's why I share them. That's what they are, and that's exactly what Swan's doing. I mean, you talk about a book that's 10 years in the making. That's a lot of pouring out there, and that's a lot of ciphering through what you've done, and sifting out things, and putting in more pertinent, taking out less pertinent, and to fine tune it. It's like trying to fine tune an orchestra, because an orchestra can be a beautiful, beautiful sounding thing. But you take one violin and knock it out of tune, you'll hear it. And the last thing you want to hear is the discord. You want to hear the accord, not the discord. And it takes a while to write a symphony. Hey, Swan?
10 years, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
This one. Yeah, I have another poem for you.
Good. Well, hey, let's go. Your turn.
This one's called Another Life. Will you come back in another life? Would that really suffice when here and now you are gone, and all we could do is therefore done? Was that really all there was for us to do? Was that really all I meant to you? A short sojourn, and away you flew, far greater things to do. Does love leave if it really loves? Is it really a sign from above if its message is to leave love? Should love silence the song of the love dove? Does your heart glow with love divine? From your heart does the light of love shine? Do your hand, heart, and eyes not miss mine? Or was fate so cruel to give us so little time? If I come back again, will you be there then? Will our hearts burst open and once more in love find heaven? But that's what we're doing, folks. We're back again. We're all here again. We were all here before. And our hearts are ready to burst open and once more in love find heaven. That's all from me, folks.
I was just going to say you won't find an argument out of me. Not at all. Not at all. I'm actually digging through a couple of things here to see if I can find a little treat for you guys. Yeah. Anyway, Tony, jump in for a sec there, bud. Have some fun.
No, I was just listening to the information, the words, the sounds, the poems, the bits and pieces, and just putting pieces together.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to not be. That's the joy of this, you know. And I've said it many times before in the past. I'll say it again. For me, this was meditation. This was spending the time, literally, just inside my head and allowing things to flow. And I think, I don't think it anyway. I know this. That's where this comes from. You see, because when you're in meditation, when you're in that beautiful zone, as I like to call it, that's when you're open to letting creation come to you, where you can take part in it, you know. And there's no thinking required. That's the problem with the left brain, you know. Everybody has to think their way through everything, and that's not the way it goes here, guys. This is about letting go. This is about finally letting go and saying, you know, I've had enough, and it's just time to be. You know, so don't mind me. I'm still trying to find a set of lyrics for a tune.
Let me just comment on that, if you wouldn't.
Yeah, go.
Mind.
Absolutely.
You've said it perfectly, Swan. Everybody has got different components, and everybody brings different qualities. Everybody brings, some people standing ground, other people are working out the battle plans for the success of us going home. So, I mean, I'm looking at it from the perspective of my toolbox. What's in my toolbox? When have I got to pull out what tool? And how has it got to be used? And at what particular time do I resonate with using it? So, I'm listening to all of your information, which is all good. I've got nothing negative to say whatsoever. But all I'm trying to explain is, like, we've all got our purposes, and we've all got our specific tool bag with our specific tools that we use at specific times. So, I mean, we're not done yet. We are just really getting to the point of, right, hold on tight, here we go. We're creating our own future, and let's do it, and let's do it right. But you don't want to crack a nut with a hammer. Do you know what I'm saying? You need to have a nutcracker. Otherwise, you're going to muck it up. So that's my perspective on the information and why I'm quiet. This night is for this vibration. The other tools in my toolbox are going to stay safely in the toolbox until we need to open it. That's my perspective. Hope it fits.
Yes, agreed. Totally agreed. You know, we need it all. Sometimes the soul needs a song or a poem. At other times, my car needs a mechanic, or, you know, I need information from Tony about what's going on with certain energies out there. If we all keep showing up at the right time because we're guided by the divine, if we just give what we have to give at the right moment, then it all works.
Absolutely. Find your place. Be it.
And timing is the key.
That's right. That's right. And being open to that divine guidance, that divine connection within, so we know when to show up and where to show up and where to go and how to be at any given time. We just have to be ready to drop whatever it is, because there's somewhere we need to be or something we need to be doing.
Yeah. You know, if you follow the natural law of ebb and flow, imagine two people coming at each other, you know, in an argument, debate. If you're both powering up that energy, you are both, you know, flowing, right? So what happens when you have flows coming at each other? Well, you have resistance, resistance, right? So you're actually empowering that energy. And this is where we have to become the ebb and the flow. And it's not about being right, you know. And it's okay to not be right. And it's okay to let someone else not be right, according to you. What you need, for me anyway, and this still, I've got lots to learn on it, but these are fundamental things that I like to bring into practice. When someone is coming at me, I have learned now just to walk away, swim away, if you will. And you know, I don't have time to feed that energy, and I certainly don't have time to manifest it. And one of the best things that I've learned, anyway, for me, is to not be a part of that energy, and instead become the ebb to the flow. When something's flowing hardcore at me, I ebb back with it, and I let it manifest and roll off. Every wave eventually comes to shore and settles out. So dare to be that shore. And on that note, I got another one for you. This is the one I was looking for. This is another one of my faves. You'll understand what I mean when I was talking about the shore. Excuse me. So we all have to learn to be the shore at some point. This is one I wrote back in 2005. It's called Rain On. Shall we? And you can take that any way you want. Rain as in it comes down, or to rule yourself. It means both if you're paying attention. I had that much knowingness back then, so I just put it into practice now, and here you go. I normally use a pick, so hopefully this will be okay. I don't have a soft enough pick for this. It gets too loud otherwise, so here you go.
Darkness, as I will be to you, unfailing, never-ending love to give. Life is just a puzzle, you're my missing piece, you're everything that I know passion is. I'm a ship set out to sea, you're my compass, guide me through. You're the shore beyond the sunset, all my dreams. Don't wake me if I'm dreaming, through the thunder let me sleep. 'Cause you're the only storm I'll ever need. Rain on, rain on. Rain on, rain your love on me. Rain on. The only rain I'll ever need. Morning is to sunrise, as you are now to me, like autumn is to a falling leaf. If my sentence is a long one, your heart my prison cell, well then lock me up and throw away the key. I'm a ship set out to sea, you're my compass, guide me through. You're the shore beyond the sunset, all my dreams. Don't awake me if I'm dreaming, through the thunder let me sleep. 'Cause you're the only storm I'll ever need. Rain on, rain on. Rain on, rain your love on me. Rain on, rain on. 'Cause you're the only storm I'll ever need. I'm a ship set out to sea. You're my compass, guide me through. You're the shore beyond the sunset, all my dreams. Don't wake me if I'm dreaming. Through the thunder let me sleep. 'Cause you're the only rain I'll ever need. You're the only rain I'll ever need. You're the only rain I'll ever need. Rain on, rain on. Rain on, rain your love on me. Rain on, rain on. 'Cause you're the only rain I'll ever. You're the only rain I'll ever. You're the only rain I'll ever need. Rain on. Rain on. Rain on.
Something like that. That was one of the ones I wanted to work on. There you go. Someone's got their speakers on. Hello. Wow, you guys are quiet tonight. Are we having a zone night or what?
I love it. There's nothing like that silence, that speaks volumes.
It's funny you say that, because that was one of the things that I always loved. When you nailed it, when after the song finishes, you know how people go, yeah, and all the rest of it, right? When you finish a song and then it just kind of sit there, and you have that beautiful collective silence, that beautiful silence is golden moment, and they're like, oh my God, and then they go, it's like, you had them, and you're with them, and they're with you on the stage. And I was talking to Paul Giovanni this morning about this same thing as well. I forget the gentleman that he said, performer, that he was asked about feeling and what it was like and whatever, and he says, I would love to be able to, as I said to him, bottle it and just be able to let someone take a sip of that feeling. And it is, there are no words for it, and I have to be fair. I mean, even doing this tonight, this absolutely scares the shit out of me to do this. Don't ask me why. It's always been this way. I guess it keeps my stage nerve very, very taut, where I'm pretty much ready for anything. Even when I do little screw-ups like I did in the song. But again, I haven't done it in a while, so no excuses. Hey, it was fun. You get to hear the real me. Look, Kate's not perfect. Awesome. Yeah, no shit. And and that's the thing about performing whatever, because you're so hard on yourself when you're on stage. And I've had moments with bands and whatnot. I'll never forget this one night I'd went solo. This was after bands and whatever, and there was an event going on, and there was going to be a backing band, and what you had to do was just send. I think I did 4 songs that day. It was how do you put it, like a roundabout. Different performers would get up, and the same band backed them all, so there was no teardown time. It was just solid go. And what these guys would do would take the songs and they would chart them and play them with you on stage. And and we're talking some of the best players the area had to give. I mean, these were the top studio touring guys, and I knew them all. It was just amazing to be able to sit in with these guys. I played with them a few of them on different occasions, and this was the first time I'd had a chance to play with. It was 5-piece and myself, of course, on acoustic, and these were all basically the all-stars. So it's like no pressure, Kate, no pressure at all, But of course, I knew my songs, and I knew these guys knew their stuff, and I never forget. We got up on stage, and what tune? Only Hearts, actually. It's funny. Only Hearts was the tune. I think I played it second. Came out of the gate and did the first song, Not a Hitch, and it was just one of those moments where I love these, and I've had a few of them. I won't say I haven't had many, but I haven't had as many as I like. But it's where you actually get into this beautiful groove zone and you're playing, but you're not thinking about it. All you have time to do is think about singing, because everything else, because you have complete trust in all the players around you that you know they're not going to mess up, so you can just play and know that they're going to be there. And there's a beautiful piece in that. And this night was one of those times where everything was just perfect. And we got into doing Only Hearts, and I'll never forget it. The guitarist missed the cue on where the vocals were supposed to come back in because he got carried away in his lead, right? And no problem, I'll just keep rotating through it, right? So he looked at me, and I saw this look of panic on him, and I'm going, it's all good. And I just, just go around, right? So we went back around, right? So when you hear that expression, effectively what it is just do the last part of that song again, and then we'll pick it up on the next pass, right, where I would come in vocally. But I'll never forget Paul's face when I looked at him. This guy is like guitarist of guitarists, won award after award. Anyway, he just had this look like a little kid, like, oh shit. And I just looked at him, and it was so perfect. I just looked at him and smiled and just said, go round. And he's like, oh, okay, and he went back into what he was doing. But and I got to tell you, even during this, he's looking at me and whatever, his hands didn't stop moving. Right? They just never stopped, and that's why I'm smiling, because I'm thinking, you guys couldn't screw it up if you tried, And I got to tell you, of all the, there's maybe a half a dozen performances I got to be part of, experiences that stand out, and that has got to be in the top 3 moments of stage life. Now, bottle that and try to do that. And keep in mind, every time I set foot on a stage, I shit myself. Every time. Like, even doing this, it took a bit to, thank you, Swan, you eased it in as far as, okay, well, you're going to do a poem, I'm going to do a song. You do a poem, I'll do a song. You do it's like a little repartee going on, right? So it's beautiful. So there you go. There's another Kate moment for you.
Hey, how long have we got to the end of the show?
Oh, we got, see, you're on my wavelength, so I'm looking at the clock when you asked me that. I thought we got, because I was just going to say that. I thought, no, we still got 13 minutes, so we're good. We're good. We got lots of time.
Yes.
It's
beautiful to dance like this.
That's what we're doing. We're just dancing, And I have to ask, we've got a bunch of callers here. Does no one have any questions or comments? Just to come in and be a part of this. I just want you so much to be a part of this. And that's what it is with me, too. It's not about, stage fright. I do this every night. Okay, guys? You got to get over it. Do you want to know how I looked at the stage? Here's how I looked at the stage, just to let you know. This is how badly it scared me. My band, Athen Rai, and we did a lot of shows. There wasn't a show that we did that I didn't puke before it. That's how much stress it was for me. Not that the band wasn't great. We were friggin' awesome. They were just a beautiful group. At one point it was a 6-piece, went to 5, then went to, for the last few years it was a 4-piece. That's all we needed. And but every show, yep, you'd find me in the bathroom. That's why I would never eat before a show, and because it would just be a waste of money. So I always waited till after the show. After, as soon as I got 1 or 2 songs in, I was good to go, and I just didn't want to stop, because once the energy catches you, it takes you away. But here's how I look at the stage. Anytime I was ever walking up, to the steps to go onto it, I always equated that to the gallows. I'm not kidding, the gallows. So what I would do is I look at it and go, okay, well, I'm going up to get hung here, so I might as well, start climbing the stairs, and all, that trepidation is just eating me alive, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, here we go, we're ready to go on, and I get on the stage, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to get hung, I might as well have fun. And that's how I switched it on. That's how I turned it over. So there you go. The mighty Kate, what a wimp.
The same. I used to have terrible stage fright, but today it just felt, this is it. This is time. I can go out and do this, and the world's ready. We're ready. It's okay now.
Indeed, we are ready, and indeed everyone is ready. And we're holding the high ground, guys. Let's just keep that vibe nice and high, and I think tonight's been a good example of how we can do that. And, please, I just love people to jump in here. So, if you want to get in the call, just hit 1. And I know how it works now. There's a little question mark comes up beside your number. So I'll know you want in, and of course, as soon as you do that, you go to the top of the list. So whoever hits 1 first to get on, gets on first. That's how it works.
Yeah, you also need to press the plus button to get the dial up if you're calling in with Skype.
Yeah, with Skype, hit the plus, get the dial pad, hit 1. And we have area code 719. I recognize this number.
Well, hello, Kate. You know this is Colorado, right?
Yes, I do. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't ever spoken up on your call before. In fact, I've only heard bits and pieces. And today, when I was going through a lot of, conflicting, sorting through things, and I pulled it in front of my post office, and I was just sitting there and got in on your call, and you were just talking about this beautiful flow between you and Swan and I think another person named Tony, and I loved what I was hearing because I recognized that as something that I and a couple of other people who have been in the flow at a few special times called the zone, being in the zone, and what an awesome thing it is, and I recognized it right away just by the feel and the frequency of the atmosphere. And you played a couple of notes on your guitar, and I just started to cry. And I needed to go in and get my mail, and so I was listening, and I came back out, and you began to play that incredible song, and, described about what you feel like, as you're getting ready to do that every time. And my husband was a musician. He's not with us here, but he's here. And I recognized, the description of what you described as feeling, but as you ended that song and you went into talking about again, what it feels like. I love your openness. I love your, your transparency and your, just putting everyone at ease. And I just literally was trembling, the whole time that I listened to you, and I loved the poem, that I think is it Swan that Swan shares.
Yes.
And what a gift. I don't know Tony, the other person. I haven't heard him speak that much. I've heard you speak quite a bit, and I definitely want to listen to your program more. I'm really being challenged, with the level at which you function, and I just love how you keep bringing people back to, getting out of the thinking and just feeling and coming from that place of your feelings. And all I can tell you is that it's breaking things open, in my heart. And I just want to say thank you. And thank you for being real. And
Go ahead. You're right. I talk a lot. Tony will vouch. I mean, you were saying that, I'm just sitting here giggling, going, "Oh yeah." Tony's giggling too.
Well, it was interesting. Before my husband left in 2008, he and another friend were working on a book together about this zone and the things that we knew of and what we were coming into about, just weaving scripture and learning, to implement, this understanding of where we are in this fourth dimension or whatever beyond, I don't feel qualified to even, speak. I feel like, with oh my gosh, where we are, but I know that you need people to share, and it's just about reaching into people's hearts and letting down the pail and pulling up the water from within them and saying, "Spring up, oh well." And so I say to you, my friend, spring up, and you're doing a beautiful job of watering many hearts. And thank you, all of you.
And I will thank you
for this beautiful flow.
I will thank you in return, because without purpose, there's nothing to be done. And that's how I've always looked at things. My choice was simple for me. A bit crazy at the time, but all things considered, looking back, but I couldn't see it any other way. My choice was to be the servant of servants. Therefore, I selfishly took the highest purpose. And that's when you begin to realize the importance of those around you. And I've been through the quagmire on this one, and I'm sure that Sue and my daughters would argue and belabor this point, not knowing the full details of what was going on. I did have a very good awareness of the effects of what was happening around us, and that only magnified my own passion to end it as far as stopping the system. And I was basically in a fight for my life and for my family and for home and everything else, and of course I was right. Unfortunately, I didn't have the knowledge that I do now, and fortunately I do have the knowledge because of that, you see. So it's mirror, good and evil and everything. I can't be more grateful, because the things that I can share right now would never be shareable without experiencing what I went through. I've had my trial by fire, and I came out the other side forged and hardened steel, but malleable. I will bend. I will never break, though. I am good Japanese steel. I will never break. Now, I have to thank you for the words. I love when people resonate with the concepts far beyond anything we can say and anything we can do. It's when you look in the eyes of another and you don't have to say a word. You don't have to say a word, and you just know. Uh-huh. And those are the moments I live for.
Well, and when you were talking about the silence after you're playing, that's what it was. Nobody could see each other, but that is what it was.
Yeah, those precious, precious moments, and your husband being a musician. Yeah, see, you got a beautiful insight, because we refer to that. If there's one thing I miss so desperately about Sue is this. Before I play anywhere, she was like a guardian shield for me. People would want to come up and talk to me, and usually about a half an hour to an hour before any performance, I would slip into a zone where don't talk to me, just don't talk to me. I'm fighting just to center myself and get ready for it, and go through and make sure I've memorized all these songs, and it's not an easy chore. When you do it all the time, it becomes second nature. But I'll tell you, it's not an easy chore. And what Sue would do was, she knew when I went into the zone. She always knew, because she'd come over and look at me and said, "Yes, your eyes are green. I'll keep them away." My eyes go from blue to green. When I get in the zone, I guarantee you, I go look in the mirror, my eyes are green right now. So she knew. She could look at me and go, stay the hell away from her.
Well, I'm kind of laughing because it's interesting, because there's another person who's another musician that has come into my life, and when I hear you talk and I hear him talk, oh my gosh, it's like I got to tell him to get on here and listen to you. Because it's just amazing, the truth that's out there. And what comes to me as I'm saying that even is something that that has been an experience that I've had, where it doesn't matter who the person is, it's the information is coming through whoever it is that is before you, and it's that one with all and all is one kind of a thing. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
talking about. I'm not describing it very well.
You're talking it very well. It's resonance of consciousness. I do it. We're about a minute and a half away from going off the air here. We'll roll into the recording a little bit. I just wanted to, Swan, if you want to give your information as far as accessing your book.
Yeah, sure. It's on Amazon, the Book of Sahra, Sahra, Jesus'sSecretWife.com. It's on Facebook, actually Facebook/Sahra Renata, SahraRenata. And do go and like the Facebook page, and you can get a free excerpt from the book. And you watch this space, because soon I'm setting up something where I'm just giving away lots of books of the poems from the Book of Sahra.
Perfect. Yeah, we're down to a minute. Isn't it annoying, Swan, when people are in the calls with me, they get to hear what I hear, and you're talking, and 90 seconds comes up. It's like, oh, please. And it just totally derails you. I just want to do a quick shout-out.
It's a good lesson in staying centered.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Quick shout-out here for criticalmassradio.co.uk, the mother station for us, the sister child, if you will, Critical Mass Radio. Thank you so much, Paul and Lisa and the Critical Mass, for giving us this platform every single night, 7 nights a week. We run it. Thursdays, of course, Tammy Pepperman with Pat Chuley on Leaving the Farm, and every other night's got yours truly, Tony and Santo on the Friday nights and what have you. But thank you so much, everybody, and we're going to roll into the recording, so those that are in the call get to hang on and hear a bit more, and we just went to record. So, yeah, carry on, and we'll gently roll this wave to shore. Anybody?
What's happening now? I got a bit confused.
Sorry, what's that?
I'm still here, Kate. Can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Your mic's still open, love.
Okay, well, I didn't know how to close the mic, number one, but number two, I wanted to know if it's possible to go back and hear archives. Like, I'd like to hear what I missed of today.
Absolutely. The link, well, you're listening through the phone, so obviously you found the page for the show, yes?
No, I actually haven't been there yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go to Syncrenicity.com. That's to get the links for that. It's SYNCRENICITY.com. And all the archives are available within 10-15 minutes of going off the air, or off the recording even,
awesome.
as soon as we finish.
Wonderful.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, the easiest way to get a hold of me is to tag me on Facebook, which is kate.rene.5. That's KATE.RENE.5. And just send a contact request and or friend, whatever, and we'll get you hooked up with everybody and get you into the many thousands in our loop. And that's all the shows get posted there, and you can scroll back and pick whatever ones you want. And of course, when you go to the page, all you have to do is where it says download this episode, just right click. As soon as the menu opens up, go to Save Target As, and then just save it to where you want. I generally suggest on the desktop or into a folder that you might have set up. So there you go. Everything made easy.
Okay, I'm having to write on my hand, so that was Kate.
Rene.5, the number 5.
Okay, very good. And that's RENEE or?
Oh, it's supposed to be EE, but the keyboard wasn't working. It's 1 E on the Facebook and 2 E's on Skype.
Okay, Kate.Rene.5.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And you can also connect up with me, Carol, on Tony. That's self-explanatory.